Hello and welcome back to the 9th episode of the Talking League podcast. Alongside me, I've got Ashton Lima once again. How's it, Ashi?
How's it, Chenny? I'm feeling good. I'm feeling great. Excited for Christmas coming up, and otherwise I'm good. 2 more days to Christmas, and unfortunately we haven't got Jared Buckle with us because he is living his best life in London, UK, having a holiday with his family. So that's a fantastic time for him. But instead, we've got a special guest who's just made a substitute appearance for Mo today, for Jared today. His name is Mo Rakaki. How you doing, Mo?
Greetings, fellas. Glad to be here. You guys well?
Yeah, we well. It's glad to finally get you on the show with us. It's been a bit of a logistical nightmare to get you here, but we have got you with us, so that's the most important thing.
I'm honoured.
Absolutely, thank you. And so we are actually coming to you live today from Benoni Northern. So if you hear birds chirping, cricket balls being smashed, soccer balls being scored into goals, then you know exactly why.
It's natural.
It's natural. So yes, we must apologise for not being on air last week. Unfortunately, due to being at the festive season, things are very difficult to organise, but we are here today podcasting for you.
Yeah.
Gents, are we ready to start?
Ready.
Okay, let's do this.
Okay, so first things first, we've got to talk about the relegation battle. And currently, the bottom 3 is Aston Villa, Norwich and Watford, in that order.
Yeah.
Mo, who do you think's going down?
Well, if I'm just being honest, having seen the previous games and the schedules, the upcoming schedules for the 3 teams, I must say, and the performances obviously, a lot of people might crucify me for this, but I see Watford as being my candidate for relegation.
Even after winning yesterday?
Most definitely. I mean, if we take the team they're on against, Man United.
Mo's team.
Of course, I'm going to get hate for that. But anyway, Man United, just coming off, if I top of the head, they beat Tottenham Hotspur 2-1, I think.
Yeah, it was a couple of weeks ago. Yeah.
My bad. Yeah, but I mean, you'd think that with that kind of momentum, this would be, ideal for them, or an ideal sort of momentum driver or forward driver for them. And then a team like Watford, with all due respect, just went out there and made them look bad. Now, in saying that, Watford have not been that consistent for me this season. That's the result and their position right now. So you look at how they sort of try to refresh the squad. If I'm not mistaken, they haven't brought in any sort of major key player or sort of someone to rejuvenate the squad per se. Yeah. So for me, in putting that in perspective, you look at the teams like Aston Villa. I mean, if you think about Aston Villa, I think everyone would agree with me. Jack Grealish, he's like standout to me.
Big talent,
100%.
Talented fella, that future English captain. And I think given that and the way Aston Villa have played, fair enough, in the cup they beat the Carabao Cup, I think it was, they beat second stream Liverpool team. However, a win is a win. And if you take their result against, let's call them the proper Liverpool, it was a 2-1 loss, which is not bad if you take it to comparison, the sort of qualities and the players. Now, looking at Norwich, everyone was, ranting, raving. Timu Pukki, awesome. I rate him highly. However, you look at them and their inconsistencies. I mean, it's just, for me, it's a bit tough. But I think this time, let's call them the big boys of the Premier League. Watford been there for the longest time out of the 3, if I'm not mistaken, in recent times. I think they'll go down. I don't know what you guys think.
Watford to go down, or all 3 of those to go down, you think?
I think Watford for me right now is prime candidate. The other 2, I don't know. We'll have to see. I'll have to make an assessment and come back to you.
No, that's fine. Ashley, what do you think?
Well, my feels on Watford obviously having only 2 games won. At this stage of the game, you have to see that there's no way getting out of it, because you look at the next fixtures coming up, and most of them are probably it's gonna literally kill them. But I think at the same time, January is coming up for transfers and stuff, and I doubt maybe if the club really wants to stay in the Prem, they make big money transfers, be a bit stingy to the owners. But at the same time, they're gonna go down. That's all I can see. Watford, I do see Aston Villa promoting. I don't see Aston Villa going out of the Prem at all. I think maybe Southampton, they're going to go down.
Yeah, they could get dragged back into it.
Yeah, they can get dragged back in, because they're only 3 points off Southampton, which is Aston Villa, And Norwich City,
3 points off Aston Villa.
I mean, So Aston Villa 3 points off.
Don't worry, I got you.
Yeah, for sure. Sorry for my English, guys. I do even see the likes of, if you look at West Ham's not having a good season.
Their bubbles must go down.
I don't see them getting relegated, but I do see them maybe top 17 or 16 staying there. Everton, I do see them going in top 10. For that reason, because Ancelotti's coming, January's coming, summer transfers. Maybe you might even see Keane leave after he just came.
Sure.
Because he's not getting enough game time. They bring him in, they take him out.
Yeah.
But Mo, your thoughts? If Watford had to make signings, which signings do you think they should make?
Or what positions do they need fixing up?
Personally, I think you'd need someone to support Troy Deeney effectively. I haven't seen that. And correct me if I'm wrong, I think Richarlison came from Watford, then you left for Everton.
Yeah,
that's it, yeah.
100%.
So they took out that attacking threat. And for me, if any team is going to flourish, you need good, they say, good form of defense is attack. So
exactly.
Start with the attack. I think maybe if they can get a good winger, someone Gerard Deulofeu was another good one who was there, then he left. So if you could just supplement those two positions, your left and right winger, for Troy Deeney to sit back a bit more, or however, I mean, it could depend on the formation they choose to play, going forward.
Exactly.
But perhaps just start with two wingers, and then midfield. Well, it depends on how much money you've got. You can sort of try to strengthen up there, and then
it's also say that they don't have a bad midfield because
Doncore.
Yeah, they're all solid. But the thing is, I also think it's their structure of the formation, like you said, and also the attacking force isn't that threatening.
No, sir. I feel like a lot of teams in the Premier League look at Watford and they say, okay, well, it is going to be a challenge, but it should be a set 3 points. Of course, except the aforementioned Man United. That's a story for another day. That
you actually mentioned a very good point, which is what I was going to come to on Watford. Support for Troy Deeney. Watford's last 2 games was Liverpool and United. Liverpool, they pushed good ball against them and they were unlucky to lose 2-1 in my opinion. Yeah. And then yesterday they beat United 2-0. So, and what's evident is Troy Deeney came back for those games because he came back from injury. And I said it a couple of weeks back. I said Watford are struggling without Troy Deeney. He's a leader on the field. He's a leader off the field. Aggressive. And he's very aggressive. And he's open with his mouth. He'll tell players straight.
Definitely.
I mean, I remember last year when they played Arsenal and they battered Arsenal. They were losing to Arsenal, came back and then beat them second half. And he still came out after the game and said to them, to Sky Sports, that he targeted Arsenal's defence because he knows they're weak. And he said to them straight, they crumble under pressure. And he told his players that. Yeah. So they need another figure in the team to stand up when Troy Deeney is not performing or when he's not there. And that's what their biggest problem has been this season. They've tried Deulofeu up front. Yeah. He's tricky, he's fast, but he can't be the lone striker. He's not a target man. So,
and also, I mean, just on that point about Deulofeu, yes, he's an ex-Barca, so you'd expect sort of
a higher,
you know what I'm saying? Yeah. I mean, to me, it still seems like he's trying to find himself, if I may. Yeah. Yes, he's playing in the best league in the world, the toughest league in the world, but
absolutely.
I mean, 3 seasons, 4 seasons maybe later on, you should have the gist of it. I mean,
exactly.
you should be, and I hate to make such comparisons, but you take a look at Raheem Sterling. I mean, that's our sort of what put him right now, given the experience,
skill set,
and you know what I'm saying. But for now, he still looks like he's trying to find himself, and it's a bit sad though, because he could be doing so much better.
He could. Definitely.
And now on Boxing Day, 2 of the bottom 3 are playing against each other, which is Norwich and Aston Villa.
Oh,
that's good.
So that's going to be a proper Boxing Day match. And you know what? Whoever loses that, in my opinion, has guaranteed their spot to go down. I'm going to take 10 Rand right now, and I'm going to go and put it on Betway today to say that Watford survived the drop. I'd like to see what odds I get on 10 Rand against them, probably a couple of grand.
Yeah.
But what's it worth at the end of the day? So I do believe Watford will survive. I don't want Southampton to go down. I love Southampton. I love their players. Liverpool love their players even more, clearly.
Of course. The factory.
Southampton Pool is what I call them. I'd love for West Ham to go down, just being a London rival to us. But I don't know. Aston Villa, Norwich, I think they're destined to go down, and if Norwich go down, trust me, some teams are going to come in for Pookie. They're not going to let him just slide back into Championship.
Maybe like Bournemouth or something.
I mean, look, I'm even going to go on out a limb and say some Spanish teams might even come up.
Why not? He suits that style of play.
What I'm saying, maybe your Villarreals, your sort of mid to top tier teams, if I may.
For sure.
He's quality.
Even a Valencia type of player.
Of course, definitely.
Guys, Boxing Day, actually, now I'm looking at it. Leicester, Liverpool, and Leicester are playing at home.
Click, bang.
What's going to happen there? Because Leicester just lost to City, which Ashton is very happy about. But
it was a good game.
Do you think Leicester are going to... This is the point where Leicester crumble now under the pressure, or are they going to bounce back and go and whack Liverpool?
I have 2 words for you. Jamie Vardy, top goal scorer currently, if I'm not mistaken, with 17.
Doing mad things.
So and Tielemans is coming to the fore as well. So that midfield of Leicester is starting to work. James Maddison,
Harvey Barnes.
You see, so with that said, gentlemen, I know everyone is going on about Liverpool being, 10 points clear or 12 points, something
Does
like
anyone really care? It's Liverpool.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
I'm joking.
Need I remind you of last season where they were in a similar position at some point. I think Batena was about 9 points. And,
they're 10 clear with a game in hand.
You know what I'm saying? Guess what happened? I'm not saying it's going to happen again because Liverpool's a different team. But I will get to that. But, like I'm saying, Leicester are looking on fire, guys. They actually, for me, Boxing Day, it'll be a close one. I mean, a 1-0, 2-1, 3-2. But it'll be
City
to Leicester.
So Leicester's going to beat and stop Liverpool's unbeaten run. Look, you know the thing about Liverpool this season, which is absolutely fascinating, they haven't kept a clean sheet in I don't know how long in the Premier League, yet they are doing better. I think they're not doing better than last season, which is still crazy. But they're top.
They're still on top.
They're top of the log. They've got a squeaky defence at the moment, and I'm not saying defence because they've got great defenders, but they're conceding silly goals.
They are indeed.
If one team just got at them and got 2 goals up within 20 minutes.
I can see Leicester doing that.
Hey, if any team is going to do
points.
it, it's Leicester.
10 points at this stage. So, 10 points clear. Jamie Vardy just, on the day he shines.
Can Leicester do it again? Fairy tale number 2.
Can I say 2015, 2016?
No one saw them.
I think what happened is Leicester will beat them and then City will win the league. You know what I mean?
No.
Anything can happen, but I think
wow.
Also. No, I'm just joking. I'm a proud City.
You're asking for Christmas miracles 2 days before.
If I'm being honest, yes, it's not the case, but for me, this is the title decider potentially because you have Liverpool lose this game,
then
and you just don't know what's going to happen.
Exactly.
I mean, Leicester win it, and who knows? Brendan Rodgers, I've always admired that man.
He's amazing.
Back in the days of Liverpool, there's just something about him that he knows about the game.
He's smart.
I don't know. Every coach is different and all the same at the same time, but he's just something special. Man.
But he's also old school. What I like.
He is.
Get the ball to the striker, let him run and go and score.
And guess what Jamie Vardy loves doing?
Absolutely. It suits his play style. So let's leave that, guys. We've got something interesting to talk about, the Champions League. Okay, so I'm just going to run through the fixtures and you guys can tell me who's going through between the two. Okay, so first fixture for you guys is Dortmund versus PSG. Who's taking it, boys, over 2 legs?
Right, for me, Yowza, this is a tricky one.
Dortmund, PSG.
Look, I believe Neymar gets back and he stops his off the pitch shenanigans.
Yeah.
PSG should take it because looking at Dortmund, look,
they're a bit shaky.
They are a bit shaky, and how many key players stand out for me? Jadon Sancho, perhaps. Marco Reus.
But he's also hot and cold.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying.
Brandt is the most hot and cold guy.
Yeah. Brandt,
Marco Reus is also getting older, and he doesn't have that thing that he used to. I mean,
he's never lived up to it. I think as well.
Yeah, he's one of those, unfortunately. So PSG for me.
PSG, okay. Ashley, what do you think there?
Okay, for that game, I'm actually going to think like Dortmund might win on their home ground.
Sure.
I think maybe even a 1-0. And then I think PSG will take it 2-1 on the aggregates.
Yeah, they just need an away goal, PSG.
Yeah, that's all they need. Or even that, but like I think 2-1 just to make sure that they, bury it. But I think at the same time, Paris Saint-Germain, they have so many like finances going on for them. They got Mbappe, which is now he's back to his normal standards, and they got obviously Cardi coming from Inter Milan, and he's also powerful for them. Cavani, is shaky now and then, but I do think they'll rather start him. And I think even Di Maria's coming back. Di Maria, he used to be good for Real Madrid, and when he went to United, he dropped, all that stuff. But Paris Saint-Germain, he's back to his Real Madrid form. And I see, Neymar, obviously, if he doesn't get injured by that time, because obviously it's his sister's birthday, so he'll probably miss it. But at the same time, every year. But I think also Neymar he's got a beautiful sense of gameplay.
Sure.
He's amazing on the ball.
The man knows football.
But when it comes to players, it's like Cinderella,
Yeah.
But at the same time, Paris Saint-Germain, they've got such good players. Even Kylian Navas coming from Real Madrid. He's the most underrated keepers for me of all time as well.
I think he's actually improved the team somewhat.
He's improved,
Yes.
exactly. Like look at him against Real Madrid when they first, and he's a star. But yeah, I think Paris Saint-Germain's going through for that one.
I don't know what was so difficult for you boys. Dortmund's taking it, guys,
Oh,
over 2
come
legs.
on.
Dortmund will take
What?
it.
Come on.
PSG are going to do PSG things and fail at the final hurdle. Dortmund to go through. Next up, Real Madrid and City. Manchester City.
Ashton.
Oh, that's a hard one.
I'll let you have this one.
Hello, Madrid.
Okay, obviously I see. I can't say City taking it. I think City will take it if Son is back.
Will Pep not fail at the big stage again with City on the Champions League?
Okay, Pep is a bit shaky at the moment.
Eh?
I think Madrid have their good moments. You know, they have their very bad moments.
When they're good, they're good. That's the thing. But most times, 9 times out of 10, they're struggling this season.
Gentlemen, I say Eden Hazard and Marcelo. Let me not forget to mention is it Valverde, that
Valverde's
midfielder.
power. Yeah.
So you've got that link up, and let's not forget you've got kids like Rodrigo as well, who Zidane is pushing a lot of youth. I mean, this is not from a Madrid perspective.
Yeah.
They've got that attacking power I was talking about earlier on, which Watford lacks. You know.
Yeah.
But I think honestly, for me, Real Madrid they'll edge it on their home soil. You know? Perhaps Man City will do like a 2-1 at the Etihad, and then back at in the capital of Spain, there Madrid will come out guns blazing, maybe a 2-0 or 1-0 or something. But
and also because Real Madrid has Benzema, he's on par with Messi. You know what I
He
mean?
knows how to score goals.
With goals. But I think at the same time, look at the defense. You know, Varane, Sergio Ramos, Danny Carvajal.
You got
they just
Marcelo
got
on the
Mendy now.
Ramos to rugby tackle Sterling. I can tell you, I'm calling it right now.
There's going to be a lot of pins in that game.
But let's not forget, with that being said, the key player for me on both legs, and I'm really going to pull out my crystal ball here.
Yeah.
It'll have to be Mr. Kevin De Bruyne. Most definitely. That man has just found form from, I don't know, he's everything he touches turns to gold. I mean,
exactly.
He could pass ball wind than a lactose intolerant person. Guy's mad. His passing range. I don't even think he looks anymore.
Yeah.
I think it's second nature to him.
Does he even have a weak foot? I mean, what?
No, he's
Yeah, I don't know what he's.
something's wrong with him. Man.
Yeah, no, that guy's in top form. But, and I say a big but,
Yeah.
the only thing that's keeping Pep at City at the moment is the Champions League. He needs a Champions
Exactly.
League with City.
Yeah.
However, with how shaky they've been this season, you know the thing is they're going to concede goals. Let's just be quite honest about it. They're going to concede goals. Are they going to score more than Real Madrid? Yeah.
Not at the Bernabeu.
If obviously key players are injured,
Yeah.
Bale I'm not worried about. I think Isco would be a better replacement because he's got that position type of play.
They'll rather be playing golf anyway.
In that order. I think with obviously City, if Aguero's back and if he's back to his form by then, or if he's not injured or something, but yeah.
And
I think City's gonna win.
Even Gabriel Jesus, man, he's looking the
He's
part
coming
now.
good,
Yeah,
eh?
he's looking the part.
Now
You know,
and then.
for that reason, I'm actually going to say City because they're a team that don't stop.
You guys
So
are killing me.
They're just every game.
I'm just going to back an
here.
English team here and say Man City are going to beat Real
City's
Madrid.
taking it, and not to be a fan perspective,
Sure,
but I
sure.
think
No,
City
fully
because of the talent as well.
So
Some
2
of them.
City, Squalja and Mo's going Real Madrid. Oh, here's an interesting one, boys. Atalanta versus Valencia.
You understand that?
Atalanta.
Hey? How well did they do though?
100%.
It's crazy.
Look, I saw highlights obviously in Atalanta ripping apart on it. The better teams with Champions League pedigree. Talking about AC Milan, I think it was a 5-0 or something.
Yeah, but no one saw it coming.
And even before that, I mean, their Champions League games, they were they're doing well. So
Yeah.
I definitely see them going forward. No doubt.
And there's a lot of key players for them, like Holmes. He's a very good. He's power, and despite his age, he just shows he's this young guy. He reminds me of Vardy in a way because he's very counter-attacking.
Yes.
But at the same time, Atalanta are not as possessive with the ball compared to Valencia because Valencia is obviously the Spanish team.
Sure.
So I think Atalanta is going to take it 2-1
Over both legs.
over both legs. No. Whoa, Valencia's strong.
Valencia's strong.
Valencia's
At home.
We're talking about
Guedes is there.
Rodrigo as well. We're
At
talking
home,
about
they're good.
Danny Parejo. Oh my gosh, no ways.
At home, they're good.
That's a very.
Well,
I
you're
don't
good,
know.
you're good.
But Atalanta could
But I
counter
think they'll
it.
edge them, honestly. The pressure will get to them. That'll be there.
I think a home game with Valencia, they will obviously win, but I think
Nah, I think
Atalanta
it'll be a
home.
draw, eh?
Will it be a draw?
Yeah.
Sure.
Go straight to penalties.
Valencia
No,
are going to
just
take this, guys.
Just
I said over 2 legs, Valencia will take it.
Yeah.
Oh, here's a
Losing it.
nice one,
Losing it.
guys.
Okay.
Atletico Madrid and Liverpool.
Let's get this right. The pressure that comes with being the holder of a major trophy. It might just,
especially at this time.
Yeah, especially at this time. Atletico Madrid have made one or two good signings. I don't know. Well, actually, let me just say that again. Atletico Madrid have made some signings this season. João Felix, look, has he lived up to the standard? And we're not now doing the Cristiano Ronaldo comparison, but for him as a player, he started well. He was off the blocks shooting, and now he's kind of slacked off. You look at the loss of Griezmann. I think is still something they could.
They haven't replaced him.
No, they Morata, he's likewise. He started well, up and down, and that's it. But you think about those things, and I don't know. I'm not too sure. Well,
you got to pick one. Who's it going to be?
All right, I'll have to go with Liverpool.
Ashton, change my mind. Who's going to win it?
Okay, so with Atletico, they got a lot of key midfielders. Sure. Obviously, they have Oblak. And Godin might come back.
For days.
Godin might come back from Inter Milan because he's not very happy.
Yes, of course. Yes.
Trippier is also quite good with. You should know, Shane.
Who's this Kieran Trippier you talk of? What position does he play? Right back? Your Spurs could use one.
He could be a good midfielder. I also think the left back they got Brazilian. I forgot his name now, but I'll get back to him. He's also been very key for them. Obviously, from Felipe Luis going and then he coming back in with another Brazilian. I do see maybe even Atletico might take it. But the first leg, if they're home, I think they're home. If they're home, they'll take it 1-0, and then Liverpool will thrash them at home. True. 3-1. So overall, aggregate will be 3-1.
You know what? If Liverpool got the home leg first, I think they would have taken it. Yeah. I just think they would have put the tie to bed in that first in the first game. But in saying that, I think Atletico might just pull a shocker. Like Mo said, living up from the pressure of being a title holder. And maybe Liverpool are going to put all their eggs into the basket of winning the Premier League. Let's see. I think also
I do see that as well.
What happens is, let's see where they're sitting in the Premier League by then. If things are a bit tight for them in the Premier League and that 10-point deficit is down, I think they're going to rather concentrate on the Premier League. Sure. Because 100%. They can say at least we've won the Champions League.
Yeah, because I think that's what Klopp is chasing this year.
That's what he needs. You see, like him and Pep are complete opposites.
Yeah, exactly.
So I don't know, but I'd like Atletico to beat Liverpool, and I'm sorry to my Liverpool friends. It's just I'd like to see someone different do it. But yeah, Atletico. Oh, here we go. Chelsea and Bayern Munich. Woo! Oh. They meet once again.
Once again, eh?
They meet once. Well, not once again. It was a couple of years back. I remember Drogba and that. Oh my word!
Wow.
Chelsea, Bayern Munich. Momo, what's happening there?
All right. Well, N'Golo Kante. Thinking about
Mount, Abraham, William going back on William.
Okay, we made them look good last night at Tottenham. Okay, let's just
of course you did.
Let's just say that we made them look good, guys.
Look, jokes aside, look, I in this particular case, I believe Chelsea, Stamford Bridge, perhaps pull a late goal to upset the Bayern fans. Yeah. But then going to Munich, Allianz Arena. No, look, guys, Bayern Munich. I think this one's yours, eh?
Actually, I'm looking at you.
Okay, for me,
you're the almighty wise one with predictions.
No, I'm just a normal fan. I think with Chelsea, Chelsea has been very strong in the Prem. In Champions League, they're a bit rocky now and then, but obviously look at Ajax. They were, they only won went through because of red cards. Just my view. At the same time, I got to say that Bayern Munich, look what they did to Arsenal.
Look what they did to Spurs.
Look what they did to Madrid, was it?
And to us, 7-2.
Oh no.
So I think Bayern is very strong, but look at them, they lose to like lower teams, like even Leverkusen they lost to, and Leverkusen's nearly got the same dynamics as Chelsea because of how pacey they are as well. Yeah. But Bayern, despite Gnabry and Lewandowski being on form this season, I think they'll take it.
Boys, Lewandowski is gonna walk Chelsea.
Isn't he leading like the?
He's crazy.
For this year, 19 goals.
Yeah, but Serge Gnabry as well. Coming from Arsenal, he was a nobody.
Yeah. 100%.
Man, he looked so average. He really just tore us apart, and he's a danger man.
Still have the Thiago Alcantaras,
and he was sitting bench. They have that affordability. When they lost Ribery and Robbery and all of them, Robin and Ribery, Robbery. We thought that they'd drop a lot, and in the league they have, but I think that's down to being pure laziness. I think they've lost that hunger. They've been so unchallenged over the last couple of years with Dortmund backing off. So. But I think Champions League, they're going all out for it.
And Leipzig compared to Bayern. Oh, this is a different topic, but I'll get there.
Bayern for me, going to beat Chelsea, no problem.
Straight away.
Lyon and Juve. Who's winning between Lyon and Juventus?
What a question.
Yeah, I think we both know what's
and also Depay might be injured until then, so
so definitely Lyon.
I think this is as easy as taking candy from an old woman.
Ronaldo to do a flying header again and probably get hit by 747 in the process.
I do think Lyon will make them a bit upset because, there's a lot of key individuals. Obviously, I lost like Ndombele to you guys, to Tottenham.
Oh, yes.
But as well, and then the other Dombele, I think, the striker. And then there's too many like quick players as well in Lyon. But at the same time, Juventus has got a bench that could actually take up the Premier League as well, that can actually be maybe in the tops. You look at like Ramsey is shaky, but then the rest of the bench is also very good. Like look at Rabiot is also a bit shaky, but look at the talent that they have on the bench as well.
And they buy a lot of players on the free.
Exactly.
Well, Juventus is crazy.
Yeah.
But they also age very quickly. So.
Yeah. But also Sarri.
They called the old lady for a reason.
But also the old man that's taking in charge of them is very... His tactics aren't really helping Ronaldo and Dybala and Higuain. Maybe Dybala by himself, but Higuain and Ronaldo aren't benefiting as well.
Yeah, but guys, I think that's the easiest tie for all the teams, actually, if we're honest.
Basically, yeah.
I think we in unison can say Juve will take that. I know we've got a couple of Juve listeners on here who are probably ecstatic at that, but they'll definitely take it.
For sure.
My team, Spurs and Leipzig. What's happening, guys?
Oh, that's also a bit dangerous, eh?
But now, that player, the winger that Liverpool just signed from Leipzig, he won't be there, will he?
Isn't he from Salzburg?
He's from Salzburg, eh?
Yeah,
not from Leipzig.
Mina.
Yeah, no, he's from Salzburg. You're right.
Salzburg.
Yeah, but Leipzig. Oh gosh, what a scary game for us.
I think Mane is from there. I think also what's his name? What's that other guy?
They've got a good team.
Got so many players. That's like everywhere.
But he's I
know what you mean.
And they're doing so well.
No, I think they're number one in Bundes.
They are.
Yeah.
So
they're beautiful. Like look at Timo Werner. Timo Werner has been.
And also, I mean, you guys have just transitioned or exchanged coaches. So I think, in as much as Jose Mourinho has the Champions League experience, he still needs to get the players sort of quote unquote on his side.
Yeah.
And
and the players he wants.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Champions League, Leipzig have got that with their coach. They've got that relationship. It's going to be a tricky one. For me, I think Tottenham will edge it somehow, but just purely based on their experience in Champions League.
And also their luck in Champions League.
Yeah, their luck is, you can't take that away from them.
It's like, it's like we actually just know how to do Champions League. I'm not saying we're a great team by any means. Yes, we lost in the final last season. But for some reason, that's the thing. And some people say we got lucky along the road, and I don't believe that. In that sense, I do believe you make your own luck as well. If you don't continue to push and try for chances, how are you going to ever get that luck on your side? You can't wait for it to come to you. So in saying that, I can see one of two things happening over those legs. One, we're actually going to just blow them out of the water over 2 legs, and everyone's going to say, wow, who was this team that they were all worried about? Yeah. Or it's going to be extremely tight and it's going to go down to a away goal for one of the two teams. I don't even want to say who it is yet because I don't know.
For sure. But I think if Werner gets injured and a lot of key individuals, there's only a few that's in Tottenham that I could say that's very dangerous and very lethal.
Of course.
And in Tottenham there's a variety, but at the same time January's coming up, so that might change even our results that we said now on the list. But I think also January transfers coming in for Tottenham. Jose Mourinho might get his few choices.
Yeah. And Eriksen might be joining one of these teams.
You see, and that's the thing. I mean, with Mourinho, he still has to find his winning combination. I mean,
he doesn't have his best 11.
You know what I'm saying? Against Chelsea last night, I was surprised to see that he brought Eriksen on later. But again, it changed. I think he changed the formation. He played a 3-4-3 from not mistaken. And then he changed it a bit. But for me to think at such a critical point in the season, yes, we're halfway. You want your Eriksen's to be there. Ndombele for that, holding sort of. He was going to be Sissoko's replacement, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
You want him there. You want Harry Kane to be the golden boy, as he always is, to stay there by himself
and
up
Lucas.
front and get it. You want Lucas on the
Running
flanks to
off,
run.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And
But
Sonny.
with the 3-4-3, I don't know. It's
Nah,
a bit
we just
difficult.
had nothing last night.
Yeah, no.
It was,
that was pure unlucky.
we were blown out the water from the minute the whistle went.
Yeah.
I think Mourinho's game plan was to sit and let them have possession for 20 minutes and hit them on the counter and keep it at 0-0. And then when we went a goal down, it was like, okay, we can hold them at a goal down, go into half time at that. But Son's red card, them scoring the second, it wasn't a good day overall. But in saying that, once again, Mourinho doesn't have his best 11, and I don't think some of those players will be there.
Yeah, definitely.
Your Deeney Roses, Eriksen's gone.
I read somewhere that he wants to bring back Fellaini.
What?
Fellaini, he also saw that as well.
I don't know.
Look, I understand why, because what he's done with Spurs and what's worked for us is he's gone back to old style English football. Long ball. Knock the ball up. Harry Kane will header it. Lucas will run onto it and score.
Yeah.
So old school football. And I can understand Fellaini fitting into that, but that's not the Spurs way, surely.
And Fellaini's too old.
He's too old, and you've got youngsters who want to run like 24/7, So, I mean, with those long balls, all you need for it is to be intercepted by a Kante or someone. Play it down the wing, and, Bob's your
I
uncle.
think even like we said yesterday, in January, if they can snatch, Bruno Fernandes or even...
There we go.
But he
Lots
just
of
signed a new
medicine.
contract.
Yeah.
Fernandes. He
Yeah,
signed an
that's a-
extension.
Well, what are contracts these days, though? Let's be honest.
Yeah,
let's be
actually
honest.
true.
And
Actually true.
loyalty to clubs.
Yeah, no, it's gone. Last result. And it's perfect that it's lost because it's Mo's team.
Oh, dear.
Barcelona versus Napoli. But
Well,
Napoli are at home first.
Oh, that's
Let me just
strong,
say
man.
that.
See, Carlo Ancelotti leaving,
That's a big factor.
big factor, huge factor. And in as much as I want my team to sort of, or rather, I want to say that my team will, have a walkover or, they'll walk through this, I believe it's going to be very difficult. And I'll give you a number of reasons. And number one, I mean, we've all seen, for those of us who watch Barcelona play week in, week out, the team is just, it's like you got 11 individuals playing there, get the ball to Messi.
Nothing, eh?
Our coach has, or boss's coach rather, he cannot inspire these players any more than he already has, if he has, and his combinations just don't work. I mean, I don't for one reason understand why you want to play, for instance, Sergio Roberto. For 1 week you're playing in midfield, the other you're playing him right back. I mean, with that kind of, I understand it's a pep thing, a utility player type of thing, but clearly it's not working for the boy himself. If we go to Napoli, they've got good players. Lorenzo Insigne's, they've got Dries Mertens. They've got, is it Fabian? They're very solid midfielders, if I understand. It's going to be very, very, very tricky for me. I think at home, Napoli could just edge it out, 2-1, 3-2 perhaps.
Yeah.
And then away, I don't know, high scoring draw, maybe Barca edges it. I'm really very nervous about this one, gentlemen, if I'm being honest.
See, my problem with Napoli is obviously with Carlo Ancelotti leaving, and now Gattuso being very, very passionate about football, and you see how dangerous he is, being aggressive with people, referees, anyone
He wants to punch everyone.
He's literally like Conte in a way, but at the same sense, look at Koulibaly, look at Manolas, look at there's so many, like Mokot, look at Fabian, like you said, look at Mertens, look at Insigne, look at Callahan. There's so many players. They're beautiful. And then Liverpool, wow. Because I was thinking of Barcelona and Liverpool, and then Liverpool and Napoli.
Liverpool's haunting.
See, the thing is with that's scary. Yeah? But I think with Napoli, look what they did to Liverpool. But in the league, look what they're doing now. They're not even in top 4. And now the problem is with Napoli, they're inconsistent, but in Champions League they'll always be consistent. So I think, Barcelona with their players like Suarez, Suarez I think is even a better player than Griezmann with that lethal up front. But with build-up play, Griezmann is a better player than Suarez. But
what I'm saying?
I think even Griezmann could be your guy's Cam, and
Look,
then Messi could be.
If I'm being honest, I mean, I spoke earlier about Valverde and how he's failed to sort of push the team further. You need, and strangely enough, I read an article on my way here, or just before that, Pep might potentially be looking to go back. You need a Pep, to revive
take control of
the
team.
tiki-taka style. I mean, I personally haven't seen tiki-taka in a while. I mean, it's just our boulder play or counter-attacking play.
You don't have an identity at the moment.
Of course, I mean, Busquets sits there. The man's 32, I think, next year.
Yeah.
He's getting slower. That midfield role, you need a Vidal, and you're not using Vidal correctly because you're starting him off the bench.
And he might leave to you.
Rakitic also could leave, I understand, to an Inter. And And I don't know if it's just me, but as soon as a player gets told you're not part of my future plans,
why would he play?
Why would you play out your heart? So Rakitic for me, I think, is one of those that he's.
And that's such a big miss, eh?
Oh gosh.
But also my problem is your defense, because look at your guys' stats. Even though you guys are first in the league, but look at your stats for defending. Like Lindele, like that guy is so slow. Look at PK. PK has his days, but Umtiti, I think.
When he came, he was one of the quickest centre backs, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
In Europe,
In Europe, and now the injuries just took. He's strong as an ox.
Headers,
everything. You were comfortable if TT and PK were playing there.
Yeah.
But now he plays, and a few silly errors. He loses balls and he can't recover on time. And the man's had his time to recover from injury and stuff. But you kind of wonder. I mean, I'll go back to midfield. It looks like bring on Frankie De Jong kind of. I don't know, it destabilized the team in a way, because now instead of having your constant three which you're going to start, you're always chopping and changing, and
let them settle.
There's too many mids.
There's too many midfield, and we're looking to sign a few more on that note. What I really think would get Barca going now is to get a replacement for Suarez. Look, for me, he's still one of the top strikers in Europe.
I hate to say it, but he is damn good.
100%.
Oh my gosh, the man's technique, the man's,
he can score goals out of nowhere.
It's just the game has changed so much that your striker needs that bit of
extra.
And who would be that striker, Mo?
Looking around, Timo Werner for me. I would look at signing him. I would look at signing.
But does he suit the gameplay?
Of course. I mean, for me, rather. I mean, you got the two quick wingers, or not really quick, but the creative. Messi, he's not really on it, but he's a creative. So he gets that ball, switches through to him. On the left there, you've got either Dembele, who I think might be leaving as well. Then he can sort of link up with that team of Werner as well. Yeah. Alternatively, if you don't want to put Dembele there, you could put Griezmann, who hates that role, by the way. He wants to play a Messi role, but there can only be one. So you can either have him or that. You see, so it just creates that bit of fluidity in the front there, because in the midfield, I tell you, the ideal midfield combo for me, right, is you would have Vidal holding.
Yeah,
he should be deeper than he is.
Of course, he's aggressive. He wins. He does things that even attacking midfielders can't do. So you have him holding. You have Frankie De Jong on the right. And I'm gonna go out on a limb and say this Carles Alenya kid, left-footed, brilliant player. He just needs more time. You put him there 100%. And have that as your starting midfield. And I'm telling you, the future of football has changed so much that it's more dynamic. We're moving, we're attacking, we're defending. Traditional roles are not as traditional as they used to be. I mean, wing backs, damn it, they're back in the game where people thought we were going back to a flat four again. They're attacking, they're doing all the work. Look at Semedo, but yeah, we could talk all day about my team, but I think, that for me, that's just what needs to happen. They need a striker.
And a new coach.
They're not being coached at the moment. I think they're coaching themselves, and that's why it looks like there's 11 individuals on the field. Messi looks lost. And when I say lost, I mean he's drifting so deep because he's not getting involved in the play. So, and he's always had that license to really do whatever he wants, and no one's questioning. But in order to allow one player to drift, that means the other 10 have to just fill in for him, and they're not. They're looking at that space and like, okay, well, who's going to take it? No one. They're lost.
And I must say, it has gotten a bit frustrating for me watching Barca play with Messi, the person in question. I mean, he loses the ball. Yes, he's great, and he's amazing, and he's one of the best players we're going to see for our generation.
Absolutely.
But I think football 101. You lose the ball, you try and retrieve it, and him having that freedom to just say, I've lost it, and it's fine because I'm the greatest player in Barcelona, that kind of impacts the other 10 players
and he's always had players around him that are willing to go out on the limb and help him out.
Exactly. A bit of change is needed.
But I think with Messi, like his tactics are similar to Argentina, where he has to be that main role, that key figure. But at the same time, like Barca without a Messi would be very hurtful. But I think with Valverde, he's more. I think Messi. I blame Messi in a way because Messi's been keeping in that role to have that job. Because Messi saved him so many times, different occasions. Also the other players as well. I'm not going to forget about Rakitic, where he scores amazing goals, and you look at Suarez, you look at all these players. But I think all that Barcelona needs to take edge on, obviously, their opponents is their dynamics, and obviously with the tiki-taka play that you introduced, and for Griezmann, Messi and Suarez to get more chemistry, because Griezmann, I don't think he's catching on too much with Suarez and Messi.
No. He's scoring, but you still need.
He's trying to join the party.
Yes,
and the party's happened already.
I mean, halfway through the season. Come on, it's either, and I don't want to say this, Messi gets injured and But of course, he's getting older, 33 next year. The injuries are going to come. So perhaps Valverde will start introducing Ansu Fati a bit more, Carlos Perez a bit more, and we'll start seeing, you know, a more dynamic and a more forward-moving Barca. That's if he still has a job by January, by the way.
And also Napoli with Mertens might be leaving, and a lot of key players might be leaving as well. So, you know, because of what happened with the owners, with the club being against most of their players and the manager himself, which is Carlo. But yeah. Sure. I think Barcelona will take it.
Okay. Oh, yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that's where we're at, yeah.
Okay, so Barca to take it. All right. So, boys, we're going to move on to our favourite segment of the show. It's called Ultimate 30.
Boom.
30 seconds. Mo's got to try and answer as many questions as possible. Ashton, I've got 7 questions lined up. If you could think of more in case Mo flies through these.
Okay.
So yeah, okay, banana, that would take it as a wrong answer. So currently at the moment, the most correct answers is 5. And Mo, yours is to beat 5. Are you ready?
Let's do this.
Okay, and I'm going to start. Your time starts now. Who is Barcelona's top scorer for this season?
Lionel Messi.
Bonus question, do you know how many goals that is?
13.
Wow, bang on. Okay, 2 right. Who won the FIFA 2018 World Cup?
I see this. It was France.
France, okay, cool. What team does Gerard Deulofeu play for?
Watford.
Correct. Who is the top of the league in Serie A?
Serie A. This is a tricky one. I don't watch Serie A, but I think it was something like Inter Milan.
Correct. Who is the bottom of the Premier League?
Watford.
Okay, and your time is up.
Damn,
well done. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, 6.
Ooh,
6. Mo is the top of the Ultimate 30 League. Just 2 bonus questions. They're not for any points. Let's see if you knew them anyway. This is an interesting one. Who is the most successful Greek football club?
It's not Olympiacos. This is a trick question. I think it's not Olympiacos. Is it Olympiacos?
It is
Olympiacos.
Olympiacos.
I was about to say, I was like,
Panathinaikos is another one, could have been.
Yes.
Okay, and then the next one is, how many games are there in a full Premier League season, Barclays Premier League season?
that's where it gets me.
Guys, and they always advertise it.
Hold on.
SuperSport.
I have to think about this. Is it 380?
I'm thankful that you ran out of time because you got through all my questions.
Like you say, there was advertising.
Yeah, so Mo got 6, and that's fantastic. So Mo's at the top of the leaderboard. So the pressure is on. That 30 seconds just flies by.
Yeah, it was wow.
It was really, really flies by. Like, you know your stuff. I'm quite impressed with the Messi, how many goals he got. Mo, thank you so much for joining us today. It's been fascinating to hear Barcelona's fans' point of view on the game and what's happening at the moment on their club.
Yeah.
But in general, your knowledge of football in general is fascinating to hear. For those listeners as well, Mo does play football with us. It seems like we just get our whole team in here when we interview them. But yes, it was great having you on the show. We thank you once again. To all our listeners, those who do celebrate Christmas, have yourself a Merry, Merry Christmas. We hope you guys have a safe season further, and we won't be podcasting again this year until the new year. We'll get back into it once again. Mo, would you like to give a shout out to anyone?
Shout out to the up and coming BNFC team for next year, 2020. Get ready.
Yes, please.
All Benz.
All Benz United, that is. Gentlemen, thank you so much for the opportunity, for having me here. It was a great experience. I got to learn a lot from you, and you guys, you keep this rolling. Ladies and gentlemen, the Talking League, watch out.
There we go. Thank you. Ashley, last words from you.
Thank you so much, guys. And listen, Christmas is coming up. Don't forget to get those gifts going with our Talking League shirts and hats. They're on sale now. Shirts are 120 Rand and our caps are 100 Rand. And listen, if you want to become a reseller, we do have a great package for you coming in store. Boom.
There we go. Guys, take care. Thank you for an awesome 2019. We will see you in 2020.
Boom.
Cheers.